Uwaga podróżni. Na odcinku Olsztyn-Główny-Giżycko przejazd podróżnych odbywa się zastępczą komunikacją autobusową. Za utrudnienia przepraszamy.
Hello and welcome to the third episode of SimRail Podcast. I'm Chancellor and I will be your host. Today with me is a guest who knows way better single-player version than me, in particular scenarios. So please welcome lewnemejski. Hello, Lew.
Hello.
As you know, I exclusively focus on the multiplayer part of the game, and I really wanted to share some information about scenarios, so I thought I will invite someone way smarter than me to tell you something about scenarios, creating them, and what we can and what we can't find in the early version of the editor we have in the next version. Before that, we have some updates to talk about. The first update since the last episode on the 7th of August, it included fixes of the headlight in the fog, which was really nicely shown by Barszczyk in his great videos on Discord. Check them out. The other part was new experimental platform lighting is now extended to other stations. Previously, just for testing, we had them only on the limited routes and stations in the game. Next up is headlight dimming by bots in multiplayer now. As you remember, the dimming by bots behavior was present but only in single player. I'm really glad to see it. They will now dim the headlights when they pass you and when they approach the station. Another thing, quite a big thing I would say, is the new appearance of clouds. And this is the feature which I'm pretty sure some people, especially in the Polish community, will be very happy about or are really happy about. A small disclaimer here, the developers asked about testing of the new appearance of clouds on the performance of the game. So if you see any problems, please report them. And finally, we had some handful fixes for single player part, like problems with changing cabins and coupling errors and so on. However, we had a few days ago, on the 24th of August, another update. And this update to the next version, which is now release candidate, which I believe it means we are pretty close to this version becoming the live version. So in this update, we have fixes for Widzew and łazy switches. Now all the switches have the default switches selected, so we will not have to be clicking the switches when setting the route, which was especially visible in the Widzew station. Another thing was the added possibility to spawn vehicles with passengers inside. This concerns single player part, which we have just talked about it with Lew. Lew told me that sometimes it could look strange when a train, let's say from Gdańsk or far station, arrives in the beginning of the scenario completely empty. So now we will have the possibility to have them loaded with passengers from the very beginning. And finally, we have some fixes or changes to the EP07 and EP08. And this includes the fixes to the closing of resistors relays, which were the same in both of these vehicles. Now they will be different, or they are different. And in the case of EP08, the switches will close immediately after you move the wheel to the high position. In contrast to the EP07, when the resistors were closing with the big delay. As Lew suggested, this will help a lot with the dynamic of driving with EP08, especially if you follow the simulation as in real life and you go to zero on neutral sections. So when you go back after the neutral section, you can almost immediately return to the speed or to the power applied you had before. So big ups to the devs for the changes. Since this is the release candidate, anyone who has any willingness to test, now is the time before we get this version to the live version. That's about updates. We also had, since the last episode, we had some new sneak peeks, more sneak peeks. Now we have Redkinia, Lublinek, Pabianice, and Łódź Hojny. And here a short disclaimer, Łódź Hojny, I heard a really nice story from a Chinese player. As you know, I am Polish, and I had no idea that Łódź Hojny the name derives from conifers, so the trees with the needles. And Hojny apparently historically comes from Hojny or choinki in Polish, which are type of conifers. Apparently in this region there were conifer forests, which were then removed, and this district was built there. This is quite amazing to me because I had to learn it from a Chinese SimRail player about such a story. I asked him how did he get this information and why. And he says that when you translate names to Chinese, you have different characters depending whether or not the original name derived from something existing, like from a river or from some mountain perhaps, or it's just like name without any meaning. So when either he or his friends and the Chinese community were translating the names of the stations we have, or we will have, since we don't have Łódź Hojny yet, they checked the origin of basically every station name in the game, which is quite amazing to me. With this out of the way, I have just one more information, which was mentioned a few times. Well, actually, the first time it was mentioned, it was in March, and it was about the DLC Part 2. So first information is DLC Part 2 will not require DLC Part 1. If you will own the base game and the DLC Part 2, you will have a gap in the map. When you reach the border of the DLC 1, you will see the endgame screen as we normally see on the border. There will be small part shared between the DLCs, and this will be the part between Łódź Widzew and the southern part of Koluszki. So this will be available to you whether or not you will have either DLC 1 or DLC 2. Okay, so now let's focus on our guest. So lewnemejski is a prominent player, very active, and let's hear something about you, Lew. So let's start from the beginning. So how did you discover SimRail?
As I remember, it was like a year ago or a year and 2 months ago. I was thinking how it's the feeling to be a train driver or the dispatcher, and I was searching for games, simulators to test it out, and the first one I found was very known in Poland, Maszyna. It's kind of a hard simulator because it tried to be one-to-one as reality, and the control are only by the keyboard, so you have to read a lot of instructions. But I prefer to be a dispatcher, so switch searching for a game which allow that. I have heard about another Polish game, the Train Driver 2, but I have heard the administration there sometimes are not very kind or helpful. So I looked for another games and I found the Train Sim World and the SimRail. And in the Train Sim World you do not have dispatching, and I also seen there are a lot of paid DLCs. So I was thinking, let's try SimRail. Before I bought the game, I played the prologue version of SimRail. I like it, so I bought the full game, and yeah.
So you like the prologue? My story was similar with the prologue first. I thought the sound design was amazing. The trains really felt heavy. It was taxing my computer heavily, but I said, that's the curse of the...
Yeah, when I played the prologue, I feel like it's very real simulation for me. When I changed to the full version, I have a small shock because the devs patched a lot of things in the full version since the prologue came, so it's very good, but
So you were positively shocked or negatively shocked?
positively.
Okay.
They changed a lot of things about the controls, and I have also less lags and problems.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So in SimRail, what's your usual playstyle? Do you spend most of the time in multiplayer or single player? How is it?
I have most of the time in the multiplayer as a dispatcher because I really liked this, like dispatching, the controlling trains, I mean the traffic of trains. And you need to think hardly because sometimes you get in the dispatch station and there is a mess and you can fix this mess, and it's very fun and good for brain, I could say.
Yeah, and entertaining as well, I hope. So you said you like dispatching more. So what's your favorite station or stations if it's hard to choose one?
I have a bunch of favorite stations.
Mm-hmm.
I like the most Zawiercie, Łazy and Łazy EUC, and also a small station Kraków Przedmieście. Yeah, I think there's more favorite ones. I have also the least favorite, and I can with 100% say that it's Grodzisk Mazowiecki, especially when DLC Łódź came out, because I'm from Polish community, so I play mostly on Polish servers and on the most crowded one server in the game, the PL3.
Mm-hmm.
So in Grodzisk Mazowiecki, I think is the most train drivers are crying about waiting, and I am a Pendolino driver. Why I have to wait? Yeah, because there are a lot of traffic from Łódź, and there are also cargo trains which spawned in Warszawa Główna Towarowa, and some of them has very limited speed, and they usually can block all the other trains
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Grodzisk became way more crowded and for me way more fun when we had the DLC, because as you remember, dear listeners, before the DLC, the route towards Żyrardów was just a train sync, so we could send without thinking because the trains would disappear anyway. And nowadays, yes. So it's good that lewnemejski mentioned that he plays on PL3. So problems may be present there which are not present on other servers when there are not as many people as there are on PL3. So yeah. Okay, so these were stations, so let's quickly mention your favorite vehicle in SimRail, please.
I think it would be ET22.
Okay.
Or the Dragon 2, also known as ET25, or this very hard name with a lot of letters.
In our previous conversation, you've mentioned some especially cool fact about Dragon 2 which you like. Can you tell the listeners what do you like about?
Yeah, I like the horn sound in the Dragon 2.
Yeah, I actually like the wipers. You know, when it's raining, you turn on wipers and they are like slow. They are really big and slowly moving, of course, depending on the setting, but it's just like very majestic looking for me. I don't know why, but I have this feeling. So I understand with the horn as well.
And I mentioned the two freight ones, locos, because I'm sometimes play as a train driver, and usually I take the freight trains. That's why.
So when you are driving, then you prefer freight trains?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And since you like the strong locomotives, you probably like long and heavy trains then?
No, yes.
Okay.
I mostly play these cargo trains which use the CMK line and can go 120 kilometers per hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I would play the passenger trains more if we have a locomotive that can go 160 kilometers per hour. Yeah.
Okay.
And we also have 20 kilometers less maximum speed in the most locals.
Mm-hmm.
The only except is the Pendolino.
Okay. So I invited you mostly because I would like to talk about scenarios. So you mentioned you mostly play multiplayer version, but I know that you at one point became interested in scenarios and you have even created your own. So how did you got interested in scenarios?
I have played some of the single player scenarios just to test them and to have fun. And from the beginning, I was thinking about creating my own scenario. I have plenty of plans about them, but I was thinking it's hard to create your own scenario. So for quite a long time, I was just maybe not today. Let's think about it.
You were postponing the process.
Postponing.
Mm-hmm.
But when The Witch came out, the more stations appeared and the more options are in the game to create some interesting scenarios. So I have plenty of time in I don't remember it. It was a May or something like that, and decided to let's try now creating a scenario. I was aware of the SimRail wiki, the official SimRail wiki, so I go there to find the informations to create my first scenario.
Okay. So did playing other scenarios inspired you to make your own scenario, or?
I think kind of, because I played someone cargo scenario and was thinking, I would like to create my own, something like this.
Okay. You have created one scenario. So can you tell us about the scenario you have already published?
This scenario is cargo scenario or freight one, because as I said before, I like this type of trains the most, and I choose the uncommon location to start. It's a side track on the Łódź Andrzejów, and we go to the Łódź Dąbrowa, and then we take another train, cargo, of course, and go to the station Mikołajów. And I choose this station because trains are spawning there on the multiplayer, but you can't reach this location in multiplayer. You get end scenario information
screen.
On the screen. And I check surroundings near the Mikołajów, and it was made there, so I decided the scenario can't end there. The players would not complain that the scenery is missing or something like that. So that's why I choose this station to end.
Yeah. So it's interesting because you utilized the tracks which are not normally used, right? Or not commonly used.
Yes, that was the plan to be more entertaining.
Mm-hmm. With this, we can see like the power over the multiplayer version.
Yeah, the most power is that you can do shunting in the single player.
Oh, true. Yeah, until we get it. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so what would you say was the most challenging? Because you started from scratch creating, right? So you had to learn. You have mentioned the official wiki. So what was the hardest part in creating your own scenario?
I would say learning the basics and how the scenario creation works as a whole. And in wiki you can find some information for the start, but currently wiki does not tell you very much how you do something. You have just a list of all functions and what they do,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't tell you can use this in this kind of situation. You have to figure it out yourself. But on the wiki you have some links like how can I start writing Lua scenarios, how can I activate developer menu, and so on.
Okay.
And here is mentioned that you can find a scenario template in the SimRail files,
Mm-hmm.
and you can just copy it and test it yourself. There are some basic functionalities there, but still you need to figure it out. So I think the most challenge is to learn how everything works. How to spawn a train, give it a route, how to not deadlock the trains, and something like that.
How easy or difficult it is for new players to get into scenario creation? You said it was the whole learning the structure and the basics was hard for you. So just for listeners who would like to start creating scenarios but maybe are afraid, how would you rate it? Is it very difficult, easy?
If someone programmed anything before, you can learn quickly how this is working. Also, you can ask in the Discord if you don't know something.
Mm-hmm.
So I advise if someone never programmed or programmed and don't know what to do something in scenarios, ask in the Discord channel, which is just for scenarios. As I said before, if someone not programmed, it could be very hard because these scenarios are in the programming language Lua, and you need to know how this language works. And if you program it before, you know something about how programming languages work. And if you don't know programmed, you could find some things stupid or why it works that way.
Okay. Did you program before you started scenarios?
Yes.
Okay.
So a lot of things I quickly figured out myself, how to test if a train is spawning or how to spawn in the specific location and train, and if the location is not good, how to quickly test it again.
Even you were or are programming, it was the structure and the basics were quite difficult for you. But on the other hand, you've mentioned that the Discord community is very helpful if you need any help. So, before we discourage all the future content creators in SimRail, so there is still hope.
Yes.
Even if you have not programmed.
At the end, I can say that if you figure it out how this system is working, then it's easy, yeah? You can open other players' scenarios and you kind of know what this scenario is going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the beginning could be the hardest, but if you have a very keen on scenarios and have a lot of energy to create your own one, you will learn how to do it, and it will not be hard then.
Okay. In the next version, we have an early edition of the editor. Finally, we have the colored icon in the menu. Can you tell us about what we can and what we cannot find in this early version of the editor?
In this early version, the simple scenario editor is still blocked. So you need to know Lua and all these things I was talking about before. But in the editor, it's easier for the polishing the scenario. I mean, adding the photos which are shown to the player in the scenario menu. You can edit description there, add some information which locomotives are present in the scenario, and so on. So you can edit the information which are shown to the player in the menu.
Metadata, right, of the scenario.
Yes, only.
Okay.
For now. There is also a button for scenario editing, but it will open you a Lua scenario template in Lua.
In your default notebook, right?
Yes.
Okay. I believe there is something with sharing as well, right? Is there, or it's only planned for now?
Yes, you can send your scenario to workshop. It must fulfill some requirements, like your main photo should be a square. It could not be a rectangle, it must be a square.
Mm-hmm.
And you can send it to the workshop. If you are on the workshop test group, there is a link in the SimRail forum to join the group. Group is not blocked for joining. You can join it from the link. And
okay. So you need to join the group and then you can share your scenarios.
Yes. The workshop is working. When you subscribe to someone's scenario, it will be downloaded and you can play it.
Mm-hmm. Like mods in other games using workshop.
Yes, kind of.
You basically talked about the Lua language for scenarios. I believe in May last year we had a switch from JSON to Lua. I would like to ask you if you are aware of how it was to create a scenario previously, and if the change to Lua was a good step in your opinion.
I have heard about how to create scenario in the old system, and I have also heard that it was not very complex. Some things are hard to do, and the new system is way more clear and easier to create. And all the things, when you create a scenario, you can find a lot of things when you are in the game. Because I forget to say, when you enable a developer mode in the scenario, the new scenario created in Lua, and when you enter the game and press F8, you will have a full developer menu and all the options. And you have teleports there, so you can teleport to every part of the map. You can find information about tracks for spawning trains. And you can find all the routes here and many other helpful things. And it's must have, because without this information it was impossible to create a scenario. Yeah, and this menu also allows you to copy the information. So for example, you would like to have this route from this semaphore to this semaphore, and you can just copy the whole code for this route and just paste it in your code.
Yeah, without those teleportation or bird's eye view, I guess it's just it's a little bit creating the scenario blindly almost, right?
I think the most problem in the old system was you also have all this information about routes and so on, but you can't test the scenario live because in Lua there you have an option to reload the scenario script. So you can add, for example, a code to spawn a train set, and you can reload the script. The function for spawning the train set will appear on the functions list. You can spawn this train set, and if something is wrong, you can remove it if you create a function for remove it, and you can try again. And as far as I know, in the old system, it was you run the scenario, something is wrong, you need to exit this scenario, change the code, and try again. And in the Lua scenarios, you can create new function, test if it works. If not works, you can immediately fix this function, reload the script, and try again. And this was how I was doing my first scenario. Just try something. If it's not working, just try to fix it or ask in the Discord how to fix it. And I fix, try.
So debugging become way easier.
Yeah, debugging is a lot easier. It's very fast. And if you know what you are doing, you can test a lot of things because you don't need to test the scenario from the start to the end. For example, you can test scenario in the middle, just spawn even a single locomotive on the route you will be riding and test it from there.
Yeah, then for me it would be a win, yeah. Even just for this one functionality. Okay, thank you very much. How is the current scene of scenarios, player-made scenarios? You've mentioned Discord, so we know already that there are helpful players. Aridor is also there, the developer responsible for scenarios and very helpful person. So is the player-made scenario scene blooming currently? How would you say? It's not dead for sure, right?
Some people will say that it's almost dead.
Oh, okay.
Because we do not have many scenarios creators. I think because all the things I said before.
The complexity.
Yeah, it's very hard to start. Last week or something like that, I was helping a player to create his first scenario, and he said it's too hard for him and he will ask someone else to do this.
So he gave up?
Yeah, because
okay.
Creating even a simple scenario, if we would like to have an AI trains, it will take some time. And for example, 20 hours.
Okay.
And even a reader is saying that his scenarios take a long time to create. So that's why we do not have many scenario creators. We do have creators that create a very interesting, modern, with a lot of options. So replaying is possible. The most active for now, Pat Vrobel, he created 3 scenarios, as I remember.
Okay.
And all of them have a lot of options and random events and also some kind of save, because he allows you to start from
interesting,
from the middle of the scenario. You have some options at the start. I would like to start from there, because if you do something wrong, you do not need to replay the scenario from the beginning. Just click the option to teleport you to this part of the scenario. Yeah?
I see.
We have also creators before who are creating scenario in the old format, but they are no longer in the community. So we have very good creators, but not many of them.
Mm-hmm. You have mentioned saving. As you listeners know, we have some experimental saving which you need to enable in the config file. And just before recording this, Lev mentioned that in the forum, Królikuszasty have said that there were some works on the subject of saving the game, but he wasn't sure what exactly was done and we need some testing. So hopefully we are closer to the saving functionality. Of course, that will be single player only, because as we know, many of the scenarios can take a good few hours to finish. So a saving feature would be a blessing. You have mentioned, when I asked you about the editor, you have mentioned simple editor, which is currently not available. Do we know what it will entail, what it will have, the simple editor?
We have no information from this. I was reading the Discord each day or looking on it and not seeing any information about how this simple editor will work. There are speculation like you could choose train, cars or wagons for it at the start station, the end station, and it will create scenario. But it's only a speculation, not how this would work. So I will better wait for the information from devs or wait for the future.
Yeah, so such a functionality of the editor would be a blessing, I guess. Like if you just select start point, end point, and then some trains, and the editor would generate like the basic things, and then you have the basic document and you edit it, which probably, I guess, would be way easier. So yeah, let's hope we will have some information soon.
Yeah, still there is information that if someone would like to create a very complicated scenario, still needs to do this in Lua.
Yeah, but the start would be way faster than starting from scratch, I guess.
I would say I don't think so. Because
okay,
we'll need to wait how this simple editor will do this scenario, because he could do this in the very dumb way. So yeah, if someone would like to create more complicated scenario, he still will need to remove almost all the code, because the program created the code he not like.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Yeah, here is a programmer warning about it.
Yeah, this is programmer's style.
Yeah.
If you see the code you don't like, it's remove it and create your own.
Easier to destroy the building than renovate it, I guess, or change singular things.
Not all the times, but in the case of creating scenario in SimRail, I think the destroying would be easier than renovating.
You have one of the scenario already published. Do you have any plans for another one?
Yes, I do have plans. I was thinking about creating scenario which includes the frightened orders and events. But the problem is I would like to simulate the problems with the automatic block signals. And now it's kind of hard to simulate, because we have our functions to manipulate the signals, and in the description the function says it will not change how this will work for the player. For example, you can change the signal to the green one, but the game will still sees it as the red.
Oh, okay.
But on the automatic block signals, this function works differently because it do change the behavior of the game.
I see.
But you can't still do thing like turn off all these signals because the game still will see them as you have green or the signal before on this. So I did a book report on forum, and I hope they will do something about it. There is a stupid not maybe stupid, but funny workarounds for this. For example, setting a left tracking on the next station, it will turn off all these signals.
Oh, interesting.
But also some problems still there. So my first scenario requires both the DLCs we have, and this new scenario I thinking about to be possible to be played by everyone.
Mm-hmm. I know we are extending the episode a lot, but another thing came to my mind. Can you add voice line to the scenarios? Like when I was playing Machina, for example, the best thing I thought was the dialogues, which I've heard. Some of them are from real drivers and real signalers. So is it possible to add voice files?
Yes, you can add, I think, all the sounds you would like. There is a dedicated functions to play the sounds in the game. Still, this is a problem with the sound system. Some people are aware of it. When you play audio, all the audio's surroundings are muted. And this is this is a Unity problem. So it's the problem of the engine. The game engine itself, the developers need to just create their own engine. But you can play the clips. My scenario do not have audio clips, but many people are using them, just create the voice with AI.
Oh, maybe for your next scenario, now you have the chance, if you want to recruit some, voice actors for drivers or signalers, you can request it here.
The immersion, it's kind of ruining the immersion, but if someone accepts the problem with the sounds, because not always it is very annoying, you can use the sounds.
Okay, so thank you very much for the interview. But before we finish, we have one more section, which is the Polish pronunciation section. And because in this episode we have our prominent guest, lewnemejski, I will say only one station, and Lew prepared some other stations, and he will teach you how to say them. So my example is a beautifully named station, a station which is called Chruszczobród. This is a small station between Dąbrowa Górnicza and Zawiercie. When you are driving a regional train there, you probably will stop there. Beautiful name with lots of Polish language tricks, orthography, Chruszczobród. Very nice station. Okay, so this is a semi-surprise for me what Lew will prepare for you. So Lew, what stations have you prepared for us?
The first station is Harsznica. It's your favorite neighbor when you're dispatching a tunnel.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. And I think it's not very hard name because here you have the C and H near each other, but in Polish, when you see something like that, it's always read as Polish H. So like in the word, the first letter in the word hello. Yeah, it's always ha sound.
you have to believe us that in Polish we have H alone and CH. So what Lev is saying, the pronunciation is exactly the same. There is no difference. But some words have singular H and some have CH. And this is how teachers in primary school are torturing, young Polish students.
Yeah, but sometimes it matters. I think there are,
of course, yeah.
some words that the difference is here. Yeah.
Just wanted to mention for our non-Polish speakers. Okay, next stage. So this was Harsznica. I had Hruszczobród. What's the next one?
The next one is the station we could have in the next Łódź DLC. I think it will be not playable, but there will be a spawn for trains there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Zduńska Wola Karsznice.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Zduńska Wola are kind of easy, except this N sound or letter. And Karsznice also easy. There is except this sh, but the sh sound is very easy to reproduce in English. For example, you have a word shore, like I think it's in the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you have this sh sound.
Karsznice is a substation of Zduńska Wola. I didn't realize there is Karsznice.
Yeah, you have Zduńska Wola, it's the main station,
Mm-hmm.
and you have a cargo part of Zduńska Wola,
Okay.
and it have Zduńska Wola Karsznice, and the main part is named Zduńska Wola Południowa, as I remember.
Oh, I see. So multiple substations then. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Let's hope we will have it. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, the next one is station, which we has currently in the game, and it's Idzikowice.
Oh, yeah.
It could be hard at the beginning because this EG sound,
Mm-hmm.
but there is a kind of car, Jeep, and if you remove the P at the end, you get the kind of sound, the G sound in this Idzikowice word. So
Mm-hmm. Somewhat similar, yes. Or just letter G in English, right?
yeah, and all the tips I suggest come from the dictionary page. It's Polish pronunciation appendix. And sometimes it explains the old Polish sounds which are no longer used. And some of the sounds are not good described. But if someone is not native Polish, I recommend go there and try tips there. The last station I prepared is the station. It appear in some trains timetable, and these trains are ending in Gdynia Główna, but the station I prepared is Gdańsk Wrzeszcz. At the first, it's the most people when will see this word could say that's the hardest word because you have only one vowel here, in the middle, and there are three this RZ and szy.
Very scary surrounding for this singular vowel.
Yeah. So not native Polish may have a problems when combining them together.
Yeah.
Gdańsk Wrzeszcz.
And this is like a quite bad joke on the level of Warszawa, Włochy and Warsaw, Italy, that you could say that this is Gdańsk scream then, because Brest is a word deriving from screaming, you could say, but of course it's not about screaming.
Yeah, especially Polish tourists when came here or to the Gdańsk says, Gdańsk is screaming, funny.
By the way, so are you from Gdańsk?
No.
Okay.
But I was...
you know it.
Plenty of times there.
I see. I've been, I think, only 2 times. So, by the way, these are the cities by the sea to the north, by the Baltic Sea.
Yeah, you have the 3 city there.
Mm-hmm.
That's it called in Polish. You have the Gdynia, the Sopot, and the Gdańsk.
Okay, so thank you very much, Lev, for helping me with the Polish pronunciation. I thought it would be interesting that you not only have me and, Sparkles trying, that was actually quite funny, but some other native Polish speaker saying them. Before we finish, I want to remind, but it will probably be too late when we release this episode, but we still have screenshot competition going. We will accept applications until the end of the 21st of August, which is the coming Sunday. By the way, we are recording on the 28th of August. I don't know if I mentioned this before. Screenshot, which will win the competition, we will send you a gift in the form of theme gift of any DLC of your choosing to SimRail. So even though if you have all of them, you can pass it over to friends, family, and so on. And finally, I would like to shout out to a Scandinavian SimRail player who I met last weekend. That was the first foreign player I have met. We hooked up in Krakow and we, among other things, we visited the I2 steam locomotive, which is present in the AGH University of Krakow. Students renovated an old and rusty model and it's standing on the area of the university, so that was quite fun. We couldn't get in, it was closed, but we took a lot of pictures and had great fun. So shout out to the player, and I hope we will meet other players as well. Do you have any shout out, lewnemejski? Would you like to greet someone?
Yeah, I'm sending greetings for a reader for his help for creating scenario and all the sneak peeks we are getting. And yeah.
Oh yeah, thank you very much. They are very nice. And we are eagerly awaiting any new information about the simple editor. So shout out editor. And that is all for today. Thank you for listening and until the next episode. Bye-bye.
Bye.